I'm Victor Brooks, and welcome to the Victor Brooks Show Facebook Live. Thank you all for your patience here. We're about 10 minutes behind because those of us who believe in that Noah's Ark, we thought it was coming through here in North Carolina just a little bit ago, but we are up and running. We're here, and we can't thank you enough for joining us today for this exclusive Facebook Live with the fascinating, incredible, multi-talented Queen Julie McKnight, singer, producer, songwriter, author, and mother, Mama Bear. The incredible Wendy Vaughn, my co-host, and I have been looking forward to this and for quite some time. And we know from your emails and from your correspondence with us, you've been looking forward to it as well. So we're going to ask you, just as I'm doing right now, we're going to ask you to share this episode as you watch. And if you're able to, if you're watching this on the recorded from the page after the recording, after this episode, we ask you to do the same thing, share. This is an education I got from incredible Wendy Vaughn and our other producers, of course, Julie McKnight, Christopher Brooks, and Cheryl Center Brooks. We thank you so much for sharing. We want this word to spread. We want this, the core of this, of the gist, the meaning of this show to be shared with not only you, but all of us here today. Wendy, would you please join me on here? Hey, Wendy, incredible Wendy Vaughn, ladies and gentlemen.
The Positivity Posse, how are you all? We miss you.
Yes, missing them, Wendy. And you know, as I told you all, ladies and gentlemen, this year, 2023, if you've noticed, we haven't been on as much because we're building this brand, and I'm blessed to be able to say now we're in the process that now it's becoming a brand. It's a foundation of a brand, thanks to you. Thanks to the Positivity Posse, thanks to all of you who take your time and come and hear what we have to say, and all of our guests, Wendy. You know, that's a blessing.
It really, really is. And you know, I mean, with this interview today, I know that everybody, like, you know, in terms of not being around for a minute, to bring positivity full circle with love and family. Our guest today is just incredible. So I'm really excited.
And we're going to jump into this show. You know, we can't really start till we say hello to our first comers here. We got Marsha Evans. Good to see you as always, Marsha. We missed you. Charles Giovanni, AKA Freaky G, out of Cleveland, Ohio. Love you, nephew. Keep on, ladies and gentlemen, follow his page, please. He's doing incredible things with that new awakening, that realism that we need today. Benjamin Jackson Flukas, thank you so much, Benjamin. Ducinco, hey, nephew, keep on keeping on. Keep your head up, brother. Deborah Henry, Deborah Austin Morrison, YN, what's happening, YN?
Yes, awesome. And all of our family from Instagram. We have a lot of folks coming over from there as well. I'll raise it up. You know, Positivity Posse, extended loves. Thank y'all.
Extended loves.
Yeah.
Well, Wendy, let's jump right on into this today. Would that be okay?
Absolutely.
We just jump on into this. Ladies and gentlemen, with no further ado, it's our honor to bring to you the author, the Renaissance woman of 2023, singer, songwriter, mother, publisher, mother, and then Mama Bear, as her new book, Mama Bear, so apropos as a heading for a book, a title of a book to be released in 2023, and we're here to share the beginnings with you. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome my sister, Julie McKnight, to the show. There she is. Hey, girl.
Hello, everybody. That introduction, I was like, who's here?
You know who you is.
I'm happy
Good
to
to
see
see
all
you,
of you.
Julie.
Welcome, everybody. Thank you for being here.
That's right. And Julie, please, whoever you see on yours, Wendy taught me this too, that we may not see the same people on our feeds that are giving love and shout. Whoever you see that you'd love to give shout to, just as Wendy and I do, please give that love. You know?
I will for sure.
Julie, we are here for an incredible reason.
Put my eyes on.
That's right. And moment. An anticipated moment, you know? And we are so excited and thankful that you've allowed us to be your exclusive first start for giving us what Mama Bears is about, what it's about, why it's about. And first of all, number one, as your brother, and as a fan, as your brother, and Wendy is going to give hers as well. I'm just so damn proud of you.
Thank
for what
you.
It is that you are giving of yourself to others. Like I mentioned in the intro, this has been an anticipated, greatly anticipated, globally anticipated manuscript. You know, as something that's coming from you. And I remember talking with you just the other day, and you said that the majority of the outreach has been a positive outreach for you.
Yes.
You, even in positivity, like we say, like Wendy and I have always said, you got positive, you got negative, it depends on the one that we feed. It's no doubt in the book of the excerpts that you've been posting certain excerpts that have just been tremendous and honest, you know, and real, that the positivity of your message is the focal point, along with the history. What can we give those that want to or may not understand the gist of why you're giving it right now? What is your mission? What's your motivation? Why is Julie McKnight giving this manuscript to the world right now? And why is it called Mama Bear?
Ooh, let's see. It's just as one of the passages or snippets or, you know, teasers, like a lot of folks have been telling me it should be called. It said that I knew that life, I've tried to start the book more than once, it wasn't the time. I had more lessons to learn. I had more experiences to have, even at 52 years old. And I knew that life would lead me to a moment where I said, the universe said, I'm pushing you now, and I'm going to push you with something that I know is going to ignite that in you. And it knew that the way to do that is through my children. And events over the past few years that have been very public, the character of my children was questioned. My character was questioned. And even though they're adults, that mama in you, I said, wait a minute, I tried to hold off and chill, and you let them be the men that you raised, which is that I'm extremely proud of.
Yes.
But at some point, you have to say, okay, enough, enough. Let's take whatever is a negative connotation to a situation, and let's see why it's opening up here. And that is always umbrellaed with protecting my children as that mama bear, but it opened up so many avenues that showed me, oh, that's why you went through that. That's why you dealt with that. This is the connection that is run all the way through for over 20 to plus years. And that's why now is the time that I see, let's start to help other mamas heal, help other papa bears heal that have been riding with me, you know, into me as well. And, you know, we're trying to blend our families. We have come, you know, our children have been through dysfunction or in toxic situations. How do we make it work like we see? And I'm not tooting my own horn, but I am proud of the lessons that myself, my family, with my sons, my daughters, my grandbabies, that tribe that we're starting to develop, the moms of my love babies. It really is important for those to see that that's how it works. And the darker episodes that were the beginning of my life are no different than anyone else who's gone through what they've gone through. It just so happens that I was a celebrity wife. Wow. And my kids are still, and you're never not a celebrity wife, right. You know, and my kids are celebrity children. So I wanted to make sure that everybody could understand. The people like to use the term, you know, tell your truth. His truth is probably his as well, from his perception. Then you have yours, and in the middle, everybody decides which way their life is going to go. Did that truth take a negative turn? What did you learn from it? What do you get from it? What do you send to your children? Your legacy. And now that my oldest grandson is old enough, he's 8, almost 9, and he's finding YouTube. You know, people are, you know, his name is called in school, and, you know, Brian McKnight III. Wait a minute, what now? He's starting to understand, you know, not just who daddy is, but I'm on YouTube now, and I'm finding my grandpa on videos, and I'm finding them singing together. Why didn't I know all of this? But also, he's finding a lot of dark things. Wow. He's experiencing a lot of things in school. So then the Gigi Mama Bear kicked in, and I said, oh no, we got to get this together so we can move on. So that's where we are right now.
Go ahead, Wendy. I see you, sis.
Yes, you know, so we sent this out in a multitude of ways, and we have some folks texting me directly.
Aww.
This is a family affair. I just want to let everybody know. I mean, so the Vaughn family and the Brooks family, it's like if you can have twin families, that's what you have in those two families. And Wyan and I were in middle school when, I mean, I'm sure we knew even before then, but we were in middle school doing homework at the Baked Potato during sound check in the 90s. Yeah. We had already devoured, you know, Brian McKnight's first album. And then here we are in this place where Nancy Wilson and the Emotion Mom and all of these different Sinbad, like different celebrities were coming in on a Tuesday night and
right.
We are jamming out, and Wyan and I literally, you know, get up and do our thing, sing for our supper, go back in that booth and out. Yes. Had the ability to see you up on stage with your brothers singing. That's how we learn people make the world go round.
Yeah.
People, you know, Brian playing and singing songs that family. So for me, then to all of these years later, you know, and then our cousins growing up, and BJ freaking and Niko, both of them just genius producers, singers, songwriters in their own. I mean, like pick up a guitar and like with one hand, like just this. BJ, one day we're at the house, and you know, Wyan said, "Oh, I have this little song, Puppy Love." I'll never. I like that. Just sing that in here. So, I mean, we have all of these memories and experiences that then, not too long ago, go on to platforms like Facebook and go on to YouTube and see just a completely different story coming out, and knowing my cousins were just, you know, this like you said, a negative story, something that normally is going on behind closed doors is acted out, you know, for the world to see. It was very like, what's going on here, you know? my family. And so I just want to, you know, turn it back over to you to say, this book that you're writing, it being, I think, your first manuscript like this, it's an autobiographical, you know, the parts of it that I read, it's so much more than, I mean, you know, you were very young. Maybe we need to go, because this story has been with you since you were a teenager.
Oh, yeah, no, it's my story. Well, my experiences began at 18. So and the bulk of, you know, becoming a mom at 18. And, you know, thankfully I grew up in a home where seeing mamas, and I mean mama bears. I grew up in a home where I had a big mama, and so I saw that role, but it's innate in mamas anyway. You know, so once that started 18, my oldest, then by 21, my Mookie was here, my new one. So between 18 and 24 years old, being around peers that were the same age, I felt so much, I felt, because now I can look back and realize I had lived a whole lot, you know, because my ex-husband was the only one thrust into celebrity. I was tagged along with him. Although I've grown up in a home where having a celebrity around wasn't really, and we talk about that in the book, it was normal to me, because my family, from my parents to my grandparents, whether you're serving who's the celebrity or the celebrity, neither is any better, no different. We are all on the same level and can learn from others. So I didn't think, oh, wow, that's Muhammad Ali eating biscuits at my table, or Nina Simone is in my shower. These were people that were family that were just there. Not until I got older. And I'm so glad that I had that experience, because Hollywood didn't shake me. You know, I knew, I knew the evils of it. I knew the beauty that there could be. My ex-husband did not. So I was glad to, you know, even though he, you know, family members of his had, you know, their entertainment side, it was a different demon for where he was being led, and he was so young. So we were able to kind of coax each other. He had the foundation with my family, because we all lived together, almost 14 of us in a house.
Yes.
So he knew he had a safe place to land. You know, his family and our family they grew up together. So he had a foundation to lean on. But when Hollywood pulls you, man, it pulls you. So from the span of 18 to 24, I couldn't just be, I had to split my life, and I can't say it any other way. I did not like the glitz and glamour of Hollywood and entertainment and industry, because I knew the darker side, and I never wanted to be in it. Even, you know, that's why my dream was theater, because it was just, you know, a different thing. But those years from 18 to, once the boys and I were pretty much a trio, by the time I was 22 or 23, there was a lot of life that happened in between that time. And my babies were still young, and we grew up together. So during those times, I was still trying to figure it all out and be a good wife, a good 18, 19-year-old wife, and mama. And then you couple that with wanting to be a perfect celebrity wife, and, you know, got to be this way on the red carpet, and we can't let you wear that because it doesn't fit, and hurry up and lose this weight, and I'm going to raise these babies, and I'm going to do this, and you're like, but the focus had always been, I had blinders on with my children. And if it didn't benefit them, if it was going to be a situation that was harmful to them, I'm not doing it. And it didn't. So I didn't want them that available to the public. Even, the moment that we were asked to do the cover of Ebony magazine, I just thought, here it is. And we weren't even living together at the time. That was, we need you all to be this couple and we need you all to do. I came over from my house, we came and we moved on. So it was just the juggling of all, but the sanity that I was able to keep. That's why there's a chapter in the book that's named Heroes. That's who my sons are, even to this day. For me, they pulled me literally from the floor in my life as their mom. So, that's being that mama bear. Really, we found our way of being mamas and children together. Because once my family moved to North Carolina, then it really was just me and my boys.
Well, that's actually, not to cut you off, but we do have my cousin in the waiting room. So if I
yes,
good. Yeah. Well, let's bring BJ. While we're bringing BJ in, let me ask you this, sis. You brought up a couple, more than a couple. I want to make sure you're painting the picture, the realistic picture of what it is that gave you, or is giving you let's start at gave you the foundation of your development into a mama bear. You were raised by mama bears. Your genealogy, your great grandmamas were mama bears. Thank God we have a blessing of still our grandmother who is here, who is a mama bear.
Yeah.
What is it? Can you please explain? And I want to do all of this, and I thank you for your patience, sis, because, hey, ladies and gentlemen, Positivity Posse, let me tell y'all something. Julie has okayed to read excerpts from her book today that is coming out 2023. These are excerpts that she has picked that are close to her heart that will help describe the mission, and I'm going to say mission of this of this manuscript. It's going to answer questions to the negative airs that may be flowing. It's going to give reason to those who their only reason is social media. This will hopefully help to clear it up. And as our grandparents, and we say today, make it plain. It's going to be able to give answers to questions that so many have, positive or negative. So Wendy has some of the transcripts that we're going to have today. But Julie, please, in your words, what is your description of Mama Bear? Why is it the name of the book? And what is it that makes you that Mama Bear, in your own words? What is that?
My description, and the trip is in thinking of, well, first of all, my grandmother, she would call me a mama bear. That's my dad's mom when she saw me with my youngins. And then I started to think, even with wanting to, what would I name the book? I thought of Pride of Women. And I said, well, no, it's more parenting, because like you said, the mission of the book is everything you stated. And just to add to the top of that, it's to, for moms who have a different definition, it doesn't mean, I'm gonna go at whoever. We're gonna do that too. But it really is the protection that you have, that you will do any and everything for your children. That's a given, that part of it. But it's more the the flock or the tribe or the pride of lionesses or the groups of most mama bears are singular to their children. Them, you know.
It looks like we may be having.
It's a video of a mama bear in the backyard. She's watching as they play in the pool and looking like, let's not. But then you have the lioness who all are in their pride together of nothing but regal, wonderful lioness, and they're all caring for their children. So mama bear is just really what stuck to me because my grandma, mommy would call me that. But it's more just that feeling, just that position of mother, whether it's a child that you birth, whether I've got love babies that I would knock a building down for as well. I've got 8.
Love babies. Please tell us what love babies, please.
I've got, oh, I gush about my love babies too.
All right.
But you know, my sons, there's 2 beautiful sisters, and they're the baby sisters who have been blessed to have 2 big brothers that love them they know what having big brothers is. Wow. They know about being baby sisters. They know they can call on them. They know they have that family. I've got, from my second marriage, we shared 10 kids in all. Gotcha. You know, he had his tribe, I had mine, and I loved it. Those are my love babies. And even in this book, that was, even trying to write it then, I had no idea that I was going to have the lesson of being a mom with love babies, you know, and that's one thing that that's always been a negative sound in my head when you would, okay, well, I'm the wife, and no, these are my, you know, husband's babies, mamas. No, those are his children's mothers. That's their mothers. And we're going to do this together. And that's singular from him. We love him too. And daddies, you are needed. You are needed. You are appreciated. The dads, the papa bears that are writing me, like I said, that are raising their kids, doing it on their own. That's an entirely separate situation, but we appreciate you. But there is still a negative dynamic that runs through the course with us sisters. And that's of any race, any creed, any everything, that there's a mother, then, or there's a wife and their kids, and then there's the other mamas. No. You have mothers. You have the father who, you know, had his role and will continue to have his role if we mamas allow him to. And our position as mamas is to understand that there's absolutely nothing wrong with still being able to be a strong, independent, wonderful, get out and do what you do, woke woman, and love your sister mother as you all raise these babies together. Now that's what mama bears, that's what we need to do.
Come on now.
And that's what we've learned. That's what I'm proud to say my family is. And between I love my daughters. That includes every one of them. That includes my Carla girl, my Lauren, my Adina. This is my tribe. You know, you can't separate that mama from these babies no more than you can separate the daddy's position for them all being here. But at the end of the day, the core is the children. Period. So as mama bears, my goal is to take the lessons that I'm even still learning through my daughters now, and watching them make conscious decisions, even through times when it's difficult for them. They never dreamed they would handle certain situations a certain way, and now they are. So it's a generation that's changing, and the children will benefit from it. So I want mama bears to be proud to, even if they've gone through some You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
They can still use your tribe of mama bears, use each other, raise these babies together. And we're not separating, Dad. I want to make that very clear. This is not a moment of we don't need no man to do what we try to do. That's not what it is. It's the tribe that comes through, I hope, as people finish reading the book.
Gotcha.
And having to explain the darker moments and how my children pulled me out of them just by hearing their voices. I mean, dark times.
Gotcha. Now, see, Julie, you have been, and Wendy and I were talking about this, and a lot of people are anticipating, and that I'm so glad that off the cuff of this conversation now, you set the record straight. You set the premise of what your mission is for this. That it's not a book where you're going to the throat and you're not coming out. This is a war against. No, this is a mama bear's explanation of what you as a mother and protector of yourself and your children, not just your blood children, but your extended children's existence and where it goes from there. Wendy and I know Wendy has her favorite passages so far. Would you please give us some of your passages from the book that you may have highlighted? If you would like to go first, or if you'd like to go, Wendy, however you'd like to do this. The people are screaming for passages. People are screaming.
I've put up a couple. Let's see.
Yes. Oh, please, you start, Auntie.
This is our boys. You know, I got my glasses on. The night was different indeed. The boys and I pretended that we were on a camping trip and made beds on the living room floor. They thought it was great. We watched a movie, ate our dinner, and I laid with them until they were sleeping. I watched my sons. This is the first time I'm reading these out loud. I watched my sons curled up beside each other, peaceful, safe, not concerned at all about what was going on around them. For them, it was an adventure. At 5 and 2 years old, they only knew that they would be okay. They believed that because I told them so. And everything in me was determined to make sure that my word was solid. I took a bath, I poured a glass of wine and pulled out my journals. I'd always written since I was a little girl. Even then it soothed me. I knew that I could put everything on paper, close the book, and be done with it. My journals were my deepest friends then and even now. The shelves in my home are still covered with journals that have been with me for over 30 years. My life scribbled and often scattered across that pages that only I'd seen. As I began to write, laying there with my sons, it was as though my hands took control of the pen with no help of my own. I didn't deny the flow that was coming through me. The tears began to scar the pages, but I couldn't stop. The reality of what had happened hit me square in my gut. We had been asked to leave our home. The sniffles turned into sobs that couldn't be controlled. Yet my hand kept moving. The writing didn't stop. I sat on the floor next to my sons for what felt like hours. The following morning, looking at the pages of my journal, the words were barely legible. Each line was smeared and streaked with tears. The pages were linen and they were filled with beautiful dried flowers. The pages looked exactly the way I felt. Something that began so beautiful was now soaked and torn. At that moment, that was me.
Can I just...
Thank you, Julie.
See, I read that part. I had to stop and breathe. I wouldn't have thought, how would I have known that would have been the passage that you chose? I literally went, as I was on the treadmill. I mean, like, so the fact that you chose that one, I mean, your writing, the way you told this story, you put every ounce of yourself in there and it communicates. And it's healing to watch you actually speak the words. I mean, it's like allowing that to come up, because I felt the same way. I was like, so, and to know that as a mom, you know, you hear so many different versions of motherhood that are all true for so many women. You know, for you to be able to look at your boys and it would focus you, like it kept you.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
As you said in our pre-interview, they are the point.
They are the point.
I was like, yes.
Julie, what pulled that emotion while you were reading that?
Honestly, I'll tell you, I haven't read any of it out loud. You write it and you reread it and but I haven't sat and read, you know, I haven't heard myself say it.
Gotcha.
And for some, it almost makes even writing it takes you back. Like the introduction of the book says, when it starts to hurt, you fall back and you take it back. So even writing it in moments were painful, but then to hear my voice say it is like watching it from here, because suddenly you're sitting there on the floor. And it's just a real thing.
That's right.
It's a real yeah, it's a real connection that you have. But and to have lived in those type of moments and only lived them and saved those moments for when my children were sleeping or when my children would go to school, and then the minute they'd come home, let's go. Time to go to daddy. You weren't really able to digest them even these years. Like therapy, I'm a fan of therapy and taking care of yourself, but there's some work that you have to find a way to do by yourself and feel it and experience it. And that I don't know, I heard me say it and I was like, I'd say that's exactly what the hell happened. Now, some of them I'm going to be like, wait a minute.
Wendy, please give us one of your passages, please. I know you've been reading some too.
Oh my God. I was looking for it. I had stopped, but I stood watching this woman and her children in my den, watching the television. That one, Auntie. Do you want me to read it, or do you want to read it?
Let's see. I think it's weird. If you have it.
Okay.
Oh, wait, look at what's marked for that. That's why this is my niece.
What? So the first one was the one that Wendy had been, and now the second. Okay, we're on. It's here. It's here. There you go. Fantastic.
It's there. This one, I'm sure, will evoke a different emotion, I'm sure.
All right.
I stood watching this woman and her children in my den. Watching the television, I felt bad for taking. She was sitting on the couch that I had picked out and eating out of dishes I'd bought. The pain in my right eye had now moved and was covering the entire right side of my head. But I couldn't take my eyes off of her. The thoughts that were running through my head, they frightened me. The things that I wanted to do to her, horrible images that in that moment seemed validated. To me, she was an intruder, and I had every right to treat her as such. I glanced over the arm of the couch and saw one of her twins sleeping, the other she was holding and feeding. Still, she never turned around. I was treading a fine line of sanity and insanity at that moment. Then seeing her children, that was the one thing that brought me back to the true reality of this situation. She had been invited into my home by my husband. She didn't show up on my doorstep or send hateful emails like the others. She was asked to be there with her children, and I was asked to leave with mine. At that moment, something shifted in me. Looking at her with her children connected to something inside of me. We were mothers. We were mothers whose lives had changed because of one man's decision. I was inches away from making a decision that would have taken me away from my blood. She wasn't worth it. He definitely wasn't. I wasn't intending to do anything to take me out of this house, nor land me in prison. So I turned, I walked out of the front door. Without her ever knowing that I was there, I slammed it. At that point, I was done.
Lord have mercy. Right on. If you could see some of the comments, and I don't know if you have your camera where you can see it, Julie, at the same time, but there's a community of support and empowerment that behind every word that you're reading that seems to be hitting a note of the words I can express is compassion, understanding, in accordance. And when you read back, I've seen a couple that say that actually one of them said, why now?
Why now?
This now? Why are you doing this now? What's this all? Why now?
Well, my first answer would be because it's my time to do it now. Doing it now is for me and my family. Doing it now is when it was time to do it. Doing it now is because now it's like I stated when we first started, there have been moments I've tried. Watching the world now, having my grandchildren, seeing my sons as men, seeing my daughters, having had a hand in helping raising my love babies, learning each of these, living and learning in each of these moments, brought it into the circle where this is the point. The purpose isn't, I'm going to tell all my bad stuff so people can say, oh, I knew that, and I knew that. I have never been here on any level of negativity when it concerned my former marriage. That is proven by the fact that it is now. You know, my oldest is 33, my youngest is 30, and there will be some moments in this book that'll be jarring for those who have an image of what they thought. The only way I can help them feel a little better is that this was my life. If my husband would have been the man that sits next to you in a cubicle, this would still be my experiences. And it's now because there needs to be a tone set for family.
Come on.
And that's what I see via social media, in conversations, in just watching as, you know, children, I teach as well. I see the interactions between them and their families and their moms and their dads. I see the dynamic with my children that I mentor and counsel through group home and foster care. The dynamic is gone.
Yeah.
And our babies, if I in any way this can show moms or dads, but moms for now, that they can go through experiences. Mine just happened to have been with a celebrity.
Gotcha.
Who cares? Who cares? It's my experience was merely placed under a microscope that no one ever knew, because why? Because it was my business. Even when asked to do reality shows, I've nothing against those who choose to, but my business is in my home with my family, and it will be dealt with here. At no moment were you allowed, even in the darkest times of my marriage and separation and divorce, would you stand in front of me and my children and disrespect their father. If for no other reason, he'll get a level of something because my sons are here. Now, that has nothing to do with actions that were chosen that did send me into places. Why didn't you leave, girl? Listen, my family is it. You learn the lessons, you are there, you grow with them, you make it the best of making sense from 18 to 20 years old. I'm so proud of, I see my nieces and I see them in their 20s, and I'm sure they're like, wait a minute, they have tools that we didn't really have. We had the ones we knew to work with, but these baby girls, these 20s and 30s and 40s somethings now, y'all are doing it. I'm proud of you. But there are some of us who, like me, which I found through messages and emails, women in their 50s and 60s that are holding things. Their kids aren't sure, mommy's been angry. Why haven't we seen daddy? Why haven't we done this? The sons are now in their 30s. They're dealing with things. The daughters are. That's my why now. That's my little core of people that I want to know you can come. We're here. No amount of money made a difference. My house would have never been big enough. I could have had another range sitting next to my Lamborghini. It didn't matter. I'm fine in my Kia, and if it can get me to a mama bear's house where she needs me to come pick up her babies because she needs a minute, that's what this is. And to let daddies know, listen, go do what you need to do to be the best father and supporter and provider and educator and protector on your end, and be secure that these mamas are over here and we're handling this for you. So that's my why now. It has about this, I can't even get my fingers together good enough, that much to do with everything else.
Gotcha.
Now, that being said, there are issues that need to be very clearly addressed.
Exactly. And they
are.
Julie, you hit it right on the head. And number one, baby sis, and the incredible Wendy Vaughn, your niece Wendy and I, we, even before this started, our conversations in unison and have been out of the respect for what you're doing. And as your big brother, I can co-sign on how you was raised, how we were raised. When you mentioned Mama Bear and you mentioned how we keep about your decision to keep it your family business, that's how we were raised.
You protect your home.
We protect our own, and those who have needed, when circumstances have arisen, how can I politically say this correctly? Those who had to see and feel the other side of how we protect our family, God bless you, but you understand now. So those who are wondering why Julie is just now saying what she has to say, and Positivity Posse, she's as she mentioned, Julie's truth. As she mentioned, Julie's story, as she's mentioned what she has done and will do for her family. As we know, when situations like this come up, especially in the time of social media, ladies and gentlemen, of Facebook, in the time of we have positive and negative, even in social media, even more so. So we will now begin to see, and this is going to co-sign even further on baby sister's courage, her gangster, her positivity of what it is that she does for her family is how she was raised. So it's going to be camp time now. So
for sure.
We are now giving the platform, or Julie has decided to tell her truth. And this is the message, the positive message of positivity that Wendy and I have been talking about all week, that we are so excited to be able to bring to you Julie's story and Julie's truth. And now that we know we have my nephew on, Brian McKnight Jr, DJ, I want to thank you for your strength and positivity. And I'd like to bring you on whenever you're ready, just to be here and join this conversation as I ask your mama another my sister, another, whenever you want to come on, BJ, it's fine with us, man. Julie, what is it about? There he is. What's happening, nephew? What's going on, man?
Yeah, my boy.
Hey, man.
Hey, listen.
Nephew, you hear your mama and your mama's truth as only your mama can give it, man. And I want you to just join in whenever you, and I thank you for taking, I didn't know, this is a surprise for me and for Wendy, man, that you reached out to come here. And I know you've been, I guess, and I know my nephew, you've probably been listening for a minute, you know, but Julie, I want to ask you.
Oh yeah, whole time.
You know, right. I know, it's like, you know, Julie, what can we give those? And Wendy, you can, I love the way Wendy put it in the about the importance of family, meaning in this phrase, Mama Bear, the sisterhood of it all, younger sisters. Wendy, how did you put that about the education or the expression of the younger Mama Bears and learning from the old? Please give us that, what you said earlier.
Auntie, as I read the book, this is a course. It's a self-help and a way to look at, a way to embrace something that many of us are going to have to embrace at some point, the blended families.
Yes.
How to deal with things that of children that come outside of the marriage and
yes,
and your high road, when they go low, we go highness. Was incredible, because who doesn't want to get upset about it? And your continued focus, like I said, when you said that in our pre-interview, they are the point. These babies who are here. And you also realize during all that, because a lot of it, to be quiet, you also put yourself on a hold in certain factions, you know, for your family. So
yes,
you model this sisterhood by bringing together this beautiful pride of mama bears and loving on these children, and truly from the heart of that. I mean, I think that particular modeling is so important, and we don't normally see it. As you said, it's normally like the housewives of fill in the blank city that we normally are getting on how we're supposed to react when things don't go as expected. And you just
exactly.
You just don't do it that way.
No, you did. It worked for, and is working. Like I said, it's a conscious, and I would be lying to say that even situations where the same young woman who was with her twins, and this is one of those moments where somebody can say, "Ooh, what happened then?" will miss the point that almost 10 years later, this is a 360 of life. Almost 10 years later, when she is now officially in a relationship with, my now ex-husband, living in my old home and doing the whole thing. My kids are we're doing this thing. They're all living together and trying to make it make sense. What life will do is, at that point, having to see her on one of my visits to Los Angeles from North Carolina, I did have to gear up for it. Okay, let me get it together, because, back then I was a little more rah-rah, and I had to, we're going to do this. The kids are going to be fine. I'm going in there, in and out, because I would come back periodically. They were homeschooling, and I would do check. And I knew that I would have to see her and her children in my home with my children while I lived in North Carolina. But that day, I saw her come in, and she just looked like I used to feel: tired, worn out, drained, stressed, eyes dark. And I knew exactly what she was going through, knew exactly what it was. How do you not even sympathize? How do you not empathize with just another human being, as opposed to being, well, that's what you get. You should have never even been dealing with. You've been dealing with for 15 years. Who does that? So I can't even, this person is and was in as much pain as I was at that moment years ago. And now here she is in the house with the teenagers. And I'm, in North Carolina. And at that moment, I said, you know what you're going to do? You're going to go on upstairs and you're going to pull it together, number one, because they can't see you like this. Go on up, take a nap, do what you do. The kids are fine. So my boys, her twins, the house kept rolling. That's what one mama should do for the other. It shouldn't be, it had the circumstances of each. I like the way my love baby's dad puts it. He, in each set, you know what I mean? Here's this set here. We're all together, but this set has their own set of issues that need their own help. We've got another set here. At the end of the day, no way is going to work for all of them. But the bottom line is, at that moment, she was a mama who needed to go chill upstairs. The kids were needing help downstairs. I'm going to leave the house? No, this is what we do. And we're going to take, she came on down, she was rested. And from that moment on, it no longer mattered that she was the same woman I wanted to pull over the back of the couch by her hair. She was, at that point, a mama who now we're all in this together. And then her lesson that she told me years later was, I am so sorry. It's the circle that you have to have, but you can only have it with the dialogue. You can only have it with forgiveness, in accepting others as a human being, and their situation has nothing to do with your situation. And at the top of the entire bar is, the kids are it. Every decision, every moment begins with the respect that you want them to grow up seeing for each other and each person in their family. That begins with who they are with predominantly, which is usually who? The mama. That's nothing against dads. We need all of them, but at times they do need to be able to do the things they need to do. Their dynamic is different. So moms, that's the whole point of it. The moms have to put themselves in the position that we are given as moms and as mama bears, that the first and foremost thought is what is in the best benefit for my child. If they're not going into a situation where, you know, somebody's getting, even my love babies, I understood where their moms were coming from in my marriage, because these women didn't know me. You know, they're like, we'll send our sons and our daughters. And at one moment, my youngest love baby was 8 months old. Can you imagine a mom handing her 8-month-old over to a woman? Not, but I tell you what, those moms, who I will not say, well, you will never hear me call baby mamas, my love babies' mothers, they taught me. You know, I was a couple, you know, bitches, and who is this broad? And oh, you want to play house, play house. That was the scab that they had to pull off. They eventually knew I loved their babies. And then they, you know, my husband would wake up at times and say, see the kids eating breakfast. When did they get here? Well, you know, sis called me and is going to the dentist. The relationship was there. And he, you know, it had to begin with that. And that's where the beauty of, so if people are wondering what these experiences are and why you're telling this and why you're saying that, when they read it, they'll be amazed to say, wow, that was 10 years before. This is this same sister that's here now. Oh, this is this dynamic that was here. And now it's all through here. Oh, it all goes back to them babies.
There you go. Speaking of them babies and the mama bear and you so, Julie, you so apropos your way of explaining, and honestly, it even gave me a bigger definition of the definition of mama bear. Mama bear, in your truth, in your story, is not dedicated mama bear to only your blood tube.
No.
In your explanation now, and even in your book, the mama bear experience is holistic in approach. It's all of this, right? BJ, hearing that term mama bear, nephew, what does that ignite in you, man?
I mean, as we're literally trying to.
Oh, look at that!
You just knocked out watching her GG.
Oh, it's my pumpkin. That's the why right there.
Come on. I mean, what can I say? You know, my mom's a rock star, man, and I think this is a pioneering thing to do. Honestly, I think in this time that we're in now, the people are starting to get back to where they need to feel your truth. Right. They need to believe what you're saying, and they need to trust that you've gone through and can actually really truly give insight into what you're talking about. And I don't think that there's anyone better to touch on these things specifically than you, Mama. And you know this isn't anything I wouldn't tell you. But what I love about this is, I mean, the stepping into the light side of it. And I think that in itself is what Mama Bear is all about. Yeah. It's like, and not needing the spotlight, but bringing things to light, you know, it's because that's what it is. There can only true healing. And this is what I'm constantly learning, even still in my time, you know, as a dad who has a lot of mama bears in his life. You know what I mean? It's like, what, you know, what is it? What does it really take for us to just be happy? What do you need to be happy? I'm here for you. And I trust that you're here for me. Right. The children first is what it comes down to as well. You know what I mean? And I'm like, us as humans and us as per individual people here are gonna have experiences. Absolutely. And you know, I think sometimes from the child aspect is, you know, when you're young, you really don't understand what your parents themselves are going through. You really don't, because they're much younger at the time when they're going through these things before I'm 33 now, but you figure I was 7 and 8 years old back in the day. You know, I think about my kids now. I look at them all the time and I'm just like, you know, B3 is about to be 9 years old, you know, and to be able to already begin to not just have the conversations with him as truthfully and wholeheartedly about how all of this has come about as well, with no resentment, no negativity about it at all, as much as it's just like, this is life, man.
That's it.
This is life. You know what I mean? And the best thing that we can do is be a family, because we are family.
That's it.
So without you, Mama, though, I could not do that. I would not have had that focal point. I would not be able to be the dad that I am without that kind of guidance, without the acceptance and awareness. It's acceptance and awareness. I mean, we can go on and on about forgiveness all day, but I think forgiveness in itself is something that is ongoing.
Right. It's a daily decision to forgive.
It's nothing that's going to happen. You don't just forgive someone and it's over. No, it's, and that's okay. That's a human nature thing. It's a process, and it takes progress to get through it.
Absolutely.
And I think, you know, this is the type of project, Ma. This is the type of rhetoric. This is the type of truth and honesty that gets us moving forward on that train towards everybody just being cool, man.
Just being cool.
You know,
just,
we're all figuring it out, you know.
Exactly.
I in my heart cannot imagine, truly still, even with everything that I've been through, what it had to be like for you and Dad. You know, Niko and I talk about this all the time. You know, we've begun to bring Bree into these conversations too, just so she has a little more insight into it, you know, because I can't imagine what it was like to be her. But you know, I try to put myself in Dad's shoes at 21 to 30 all the time.
Right.
You know, and especially yours though, all the time, you know, in my own research, in my own writings, and just trying to figure out, you know, the best way to deal with my little families. It's like, well, it had to be the most, I mean, I've tried to go away from using words like traumatic and I don't know, you know, belittling words to the situation, when I believe in my heart now at this point that it really was a prolific experiences to have, considering we are a celebrity family.
Right.
We are in the know. We are not your regular suburban Black family. And that's just the truth. And now that we're in this age where everyone feels like they're celebrities, where everyone's feeling like, you know, their family could be reality stars, it's like, well, hold up.
Hold on. You don't ask for too much.
You don't rush into.
Please don't.
Living a life that will become so polarized that then even your progression becomes a crutch.
Right.
You know, and I think that's a lot of what my generation is dealing with now, is they're chasing this still idealistic and overly romanced and almost fake view on what they believe family is, what they believe relationships are, and what they believe moms and dads are capable of.
And that's the key, capable of.
You know, capable, and something I'm learning every day, something I'm wowed by every day with, you know, the incredible women I have in my life that are taking care of my children. And that's just real. Seeing them, not that we're not still constantly working through things, but that is life. That is a part of human nature. We as individuals, as adults, are evolving as well. And again, that's where it comes back to that acceptance of, we are growing, we're in this together no matter what now. You know what I mean? And that's just what it is. And it's the awareness to know, okay, I feel you're going through a growth spurt. So let me not take that personally. And give you the space and the love, that you need to get to that next level, because it'll only help our relationship when it comes to the children.
When it comes to the children.
I know that's what you're preaching, Mama, and
it's true. Again, and you will continue to have, to have the growth spurt. You know, that like I was telling my niece, like she said during the pre-interview, you couldn't have told me that I would have not only 1 or 2 love babies, you know, with, you know, my second, but 8 of them. The universe was like, gonna toss all, give her all of them. And let's not just give her 8, let's give her 4 moms. See how they work out. That was my lesson, because I thought, oh, okay, I know I love the babies. It was, I had to, like my son just said, it's a daily, you're working on it daily. Even in times that I felt disrespected, I felt that he could have protected me more against it. I had to be in a position to say, this is the benefit that I love, you know, not benefit, the praise I love to give to daddies that I don't think they often get, is he was juggling us all. You know, and I had to look at, okay, he's wanting to be, he knows the dynamic. We knew we wanted to blend this family. How do we do it? How do we make it make sense? There's 6 different people handling it, and the bulk of us are mama bears who all need to have our own dynamic to see how it can make sense on those moments we want to have all of our babies together. We had to work on that daily. Work on that each conversation. The moms and I we didn't have to be best friends. We eventually were in a space where they knew we could trust each other. And the minute that we knew your babies are fine, your kids are fine, you're okay. If you need me, you can have me, you can get me, you can do. Once we were able, it took us a minute, but the dynamic, once that, and the kids saw it, you know, they would see they didn't have to see a bunch of family dinners, but what they did see was all their siblings together. All that they knew who their big brothers were. They knew Uncle Vic, they knew Auntie Cheryl, they knew Grandma and Grandpa. You know, they had the experience of family, not that they didn't have it elsewhere, because they had their families. Now you bring in this woman, it's like, hi guys, you know, bring me all the best. And they're like,
right. And you know what,
Julie? Trying to take our kids.
Wendy,
I mean, you have to think, me being a mama bear, to understand, they were like, wait a minute, chill out, because
right. Yeah.
Have you talked? I don't know, girl. And they already had relationships of their own with each other. So I learned from them how to be a part of their dynamic as a tribe of mama bears that were already established. And then here I come.
There you go.
Know, so that's another why now. I couldn't have done it earlier and had the amount of experience to be able to talk and give some tools. If I hadn't gone through that experience, being the mom that's coming into an already established tribes of mama bears, that was a lesson for me, and that I am so grateful for as well. But it was like BJ said, it was a daily lesson. So you know, the bulk of what most maybe most interested in, I'd be very sad to tell them that it's not the course of the book. No, but
that's a good point. Before I know Wendy's about to blast off, I want to hear what's on your heart, Wendy. But what is it? What do you think the core, when you just mentioned that? Because we've already through nephew. I've seen nephew. I know the kind of father. I know the kind of papa bear he is.
Yeah, so, a papa bear.
And much respect. So we already have proof positive that mama bears create and educate papa bears. So we know that Papa Bears, brothers, no matter what culture, skin hue, language you speak, Papa Bears are here. I'm a Papa Bear.
Yeah.
I come from a generation of Papa Bears, like little sis comes from a generation of Mama Bears. So in any interpretation of the book or any interpretation of this here, there's no negating that Papa Bears, we're here.
And we need you. Yeah,
but
we need
this
you here.
Truth is being told by a Mama Bear. So what is it, Julie, that you think that people are, not everyone, but you just mentioned it, what do you think that others are really saying this book is going to be about? What?
And it's not their fault. The passages that I have been snipping out, I'm sure because of the years that I haven't been vocal as the wife of a celebrity. I'm sure that there are, and I have to say this as well, because even those passages, oh man, the women who, I mean, some of the stories that they're sending me, they have nothing to do, their husbands aren't a celebrity. These are just women who have gone through similar situations, and they feel comfortable enough to email and talk to me. Some of them have started little groups where they're adding me to groups of like 4 and 5 women that are talking to each other and telling their stories, helping each other. I had one that was an attorney that's helping another mama that's there and they're all just, I'm like, and they're just tagging me in. So it's, if whatever they feel the book is about, I'm sure they think the book is going to be a full tale of celebrity scandal and stories. Well, no, it's not. So if you're turning off your screen now, just a boop, you didn't need to read it anyway. The difference is the instances that I had, the experiences that I had, they are the premise of the book. Let me get it. I want to say it nicely. The experiences that I share from my life are not here to cast shadow, negativity, I told you, on any level. What it is here to do is to make it very clear. And I will say this on that note. There are so many things that probably would have never been mentioned if they wouldn't have been brought to light via other avenues. There are many topics, many things that would have stayed in our family vault like I've done for 30 years for the next 40. My sons and I, my BJ, my Niko, we discussed everything. I discussed the book. If there were at any point anything they were uncomfortable with being said or being, they would tell me. That's number one. Other than that, if there's a dot that you can connect with the line between what was said here and what is being said out of my mouth, then connect that dot and be done with it. So all of that can be squashed. That's why we're able to move on. Even in my sons and I have had speaking engagements and things we'd like to do. We will always be open to the questions that people have. We're able to decipher if that's just one of those, I want to, as opposed to, this is what I've dealt with. How did you handle that moment? I can just tell you the way I did. But even with that being said, so this is clear as well, on the mama bear tip, it could be a person on the street. It could be a friend or stranger. If at any moment disrespect, daggers, lies are thrown towards mine, not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. If they're thrown towards me, that's even worse. So at this point, all that needs to be squashed. And then that umbrella can be removed. Everything, if there's doves or vultures that will fly out of that bag, like my big brother Vic said, I'm fully aware of the fact that it's going to be the this and the that. That's another reason why this is a why now, because I can honestly say that 5 years ago, I would have been equipped to handle what I know that I'm going to start to receive. But I had to grow into a little more serenity. I had to find the tools to pull myself back to a peaceful place. I had to find a way to find the channels that put my protection up and my guard up. That wasn't happening a year ago, 2 years ago, 5 years ago, 6 years ago, but it's happening now. And I've had to learn that anybody's way that they receive anything that's said is the way they will.
There you go. There you go. There you go.
But they'll be clear not to come crooked.
That's right. And this is.
But I love you now.
Yeah, Wendy, please give me what's on your heart. I see you. Thank you.
You know, we have a member in the audience named Dana Lewis, and he's one of Brian's mastermind friends. He literally took the word. This is such a healing conversation. And that is what I wanted to just say from observation, from, you know, just being at home, clicking through the TV and seeing, you know, lies being told. And it was like, what? Wait. And then you're like, okay, do I want to ask a question? Seeing the honest, just my cousins going through heartfelt, just trying to understand and talking about things, tough to have seen that, and then to have this conversation today and to hear you, Brian. I mean, I know you started way back then when you kept your focus on the babies. When they are the point. That healing thread literally was all the way until now to your grandbabies. Everyone who's listening. I mean, I was getting healed as I was reading it. So this is so, there will be ruffled feathers. As you said, BJ, it's not about the spotlight, it's bringing to the light, the shining the light. That's what it does. You know, it gets a little ugly sometimes on its way to beautiful.
On its way. That's what healing is. It hurts. It heals. It hurts. It heals. It hurts. It heals. You put a little ointment on it. You'll be okay. And you're going to move on with your life and you'll be fine. It's it's just natural. And if anything, I want mamas bears to feel that they aren't alone in any situation and to utilize their tribe. I want the pair where it may be a situation where you've got a mom and a dad that are trying to incorporate love babies, or another mom, another dad. You know, we have that dynamic as well, that I want them to just know that they have if this is what we're trying to work with us, I know what worked with me in getting to a space, I can only mirror to my kids. They will tweak it as well and find what works for their space. Hopefully, I've given them some stepping stones that we can kind of see how this works. The doors will stay open for my daughters. I'm preparing for the growth of my grandbabies. They're going to have their own growing pains. We're all prepared for that, but what they will have that makes me so happy is a tribe of amazing women around them. They've got aunties that are fabulous. My granddaughter has strong, beautiful, wonderful, shaking and moving, hustling women around her. And she's not seeing a tug of war. She's seeing how I can be a woman who loves other women and respects another woman. And that's how we are going to do this. My grandson is learning by example what something should look like when we want to call it family. And that's just you have to have, it just doesn't happen. And if I can help them,
nephew,
they can talk to me.
Julie, what you're saying is so powerful. And nephew, I see your face and I can feel, when you hear your mother say, I want to know two things, Neff, and answer it how you want or how you want to put it together. One is, as a papa bear, which you well are, what have you learned from your mother, Queen Mama Bear, that you've incorporated into your papa bearness? That's one. And then when you hear your mom say things or give the words such as love babies or my whole family and Mama Bear of a village of other brothers and sisters extended, what goes through your mind? What's your feeling of my mom's calling them brother and sister as well? Those two things.
I mean, I'm constantly learning from my mom about how to do with all of this. I'll give you the most recent one though. I think I alluded to it already though, about just not taking certain things personal while other people are growing. And again, I always bring it back to acceptance. A lot of things, the thing is, I don't know a lot of dads in my position. So I haven't been able to do much one-on-one work with another guy like me.
See?
So
but they're out there.
I've taken it as, this will eventually it'll be an opportunity for me to start teaching them as well. Because for us, it really just comes down to discipline. But yeah, no, man. And when it comes to the sibling thing, I think me and Niko especially were already at an advantage when it comes to accepting extended family members, because that's what our family does. So I think more so I try, luckily I have tools from my mama, from you, Uncle Vic, from grandma and grandpa, of just, listen, we'll bring trauma, we will love you anyway. We will accept.
Right.
What I mean, it's like, listen, you're here too. You're my sister or you're my brother. That's just what it is.
That's just what it is.
It's just what it is, and I think a lot of people in our particular situation have begun to assume that Niko and I are jealous, that Niko and I and Bree especially are maybe jealous or fishing for certain things. And for us, no, it's never been about that. It's been more so about the fact that we've accepted everything. We have been cool about it all, man. We have been happy to be accepting for all that, whatever our situation has brought us. And it just seems, you know, for me, it's always been more about, like my mom said, the disrespect. All I ask is you be honest or say nothing at all.
Or say nothing at all.
You know, and I attribute that to the first question. That's something else I've learned from my mom. It's like, either tell the whole truth or keep it to yourself. Because anything beyond being honest and speaking publicly on a situation where people can speculate is malicious. And that's something hurtful, I just don't,
and it's damaging.
I don't deal with, you know, because, and for the children, I worry about my brother and my sisters all the time. I myself personally have been way past the dad stuff. Me and my dad became niggas early. You know what I mean? That's why I've said publicly, you know, between me and my father, it's less about a son and dad talk and more of a man-to-man talk, if that day should come. Because I can help you, man. You know what I mean? Which is where I'm coming from. It's not even so much of a, I'm not pointing fingers. I'm not even going to bring up the past. I would love to be able to talk to not just my father, but I use my father as an example. For any men out there, for any young men out there even that are accelerated or that are feeling like they're dealing with things that someone couldn't possibly understand.
That's right.
Call me, man. Because I personally don't, I am one, and for one, I am in no place to judge. And I'm just, judging hasn't gotten us anywhere this far. Let's figure out how we can use our experiences.
That's it.
To help everyone else who might be going through this, which is also, again, something I've learned from my mom. So, you know, man, I figure, listen, I consider myself to be much more fortunate for the things that I've been through than the things that I've gained.
Right, absolutely, absolutely.
Go ahead, man. Wendy.
Family, you know, family is number one. Family will always be number one.
Number one.
At the end of the day, most men work so hard, hold so much in, and commit atrocities from that place of just wanting everybody to be happy.
Be happy.
You know, and just and the insecurity level of those times that you feel you have fallen short.
There you go.
Know? And I understand. But at the same time, I feel like I'm living proof of there's definitely a way that you can use your experiences to get through them.
Right.
And, you know, again, that's what I appreciate so much about what you're doing, Ma, because I've always believed that, you know, women are going to be the cure for everything. And I'm definitely not one of those guys that, you know, it's like, I believe it. You know, that's always, if you look through history, that's how it's been. We are hunters and gatherers, and that doesn't take away from us men of what we do. We go out and we hunt and we get things done. When that became sexual is when it became an issue. And that will be addressed very soon as well. But, you know, I believe, you know, women are the gods of us. And there's a reason why there is such an attack on y'all's psyche as well, both internally and externally. And I truly believe that these kind of talks, Ma, and this particular project is us moving into the future of not just equality, but respect.
Respect. It's just respect.
It's just respect. You know, let's respect each other and do whatever we can to ensure that all parties involved are at the very least moving in the direction of being able to become their best selves. Everyone can do it. Not everyone feels like they are in the space to do it. That's all I've tried to cultivate for even the women in my life. B3 and Ember's mom, Lauren knows, no matter what we go through as adults, I'm here.
Period.
I am here.
You're here.
Period.
And Julie, when you were the passages, nephew, first of all, much love and much respect. Continue.
That's a Papa Bear.
That's a Papa Bear. And Julie, the passages that you read and what you and Wendy, it's still amazing how you and Wendy were picked out two of the premier ones, but the passages you read to us early as your mama bear, and then watching your cub that's now a grown man from the passage, the memory, to hearing him, what goes through your head?
Oh, just proud. That's number one. Proud, proud, proud. But even more than that, it's the beauty in hearing that the lessons you hope to instill actually did take root, and they are being used. Pride is the biggest thing, and the fact that it could have gone. We take kids for granted that even at ages of 3, 4, 5, and 6, you try to shield them as much. That's my pumpkin. You try to shield them as much as you can, but they know what's going on around them. And the fact that the honesty that we have been able to have between our trio of my boys and I, because even one chapter in the book, there was and then there were 3. And for a span of time, that was us. I was able to be home with them. They weren't in daycare. I was with them. They were my rocks. They kept me straight. They kept me rolling. For a bulk of our lives, especially when most of the family did move away, it was the 3. Hi, Mama. It was the 3 of us. And those were the years that I grew. I got stronger, went back to school, did the things I needed to do. I saw them lighten up. So I just, hearing him and seeing him, especially with seeing him with my grandbabies, it makes you proud. It makes you proud and happy and soft and mushy, but then it also puts another layer of armor on me, because now everything and every bit of protection and cover and prayer and everything that's on my boys and my daughters, my grandbabies don't come under. There's more stuff is sharp now, man, with these grandbabies. It's just, it escalates the level of, you make your circle tighter and you make sure that everybody that's around in that circle is on the same page, so that weak link isn't there, because now there's another layer that needs to be added to our dynamic to cover that little face.
Yes.
So then the tribe is there, right there in the middle, and it comes out and it comes out and it comes out. And then, in your mind, you just picture that, even like this shirt, you just want to just and take them all in and be able to pick and choose the things that can touch them. But you send them out, you've got the tools, but they also know that they all have each other and we have each other. And that the babies are very, watching my grandson with his sisters. Amazing. Now imagine if there was a dynamic where one, well, I don't know what to tell you, but I'm not, they don't need, and they weren't able to be around each other. They weren't able to see each other. They weren't able to bond right now like they need to bond. Or the moms are all, they ain't able to even be in the same room with each other. That's where we have to look at ourselves. And I don't expect everybody. I know there's some sisters who can be like, I won't ever be able and won't sit in a room with the mistress and feed her kids. Not happening. That sister, I will tell you all, I will never be the one that says, oh, when you get to the moment of growth, you'll be there. No, sis, you know what you're ready to do and I do. That I totally get it. That's the only way I was able to stay sane, because like my son just said, we're all here together. How do we make it make sense, stemming from the children and then branching that out. What way does that branch go to make it work? Okay, this one can't really handle being here. And that's something that the entire tour has to do together. And a lot of times it starts with mama.
Right.
But that's what it's been. You know, the mama's the one that's going to bring everybody in the house and pull you to the table, or dad was either at work or dad was here. But it's just our position, even working moms. You know, it's not, I know there's some moms that have written me and they said, well, you know, it's difficult. My kids are in daycare. My kids are, I see them very little. I understand that as well. But the basis of this book isn't so much your day-to-day functioning as a mother. It's learning to bring your tribe of mamas together. It's learning to bring your families and extended members of family together. You know, I like my sons, I can't judge. I can't tell anybody how to be a mom or not a mom, but I can kind of help you walk through ways that are helpful if you're trying to do what we're trying to do, and what we've done and things that have helped me, even just growing and, you know, with raising my kids and finding myself and going to school and starting my career and doing my music and doing my this and doing this. You know, they have to see the good, the bad, and the ugly. That's the only way you're going to realize. So she was passed out next to a toilet, but she just did a festival with 25,000 people. Woo! You can do it.
Come on, sis. Come on now. Come on. That's
it's
it.
The
Wendy,
best.
give us your
What
heart,
story
Wendy.
is that? You know,
Well, that's a story. That's a story.
It's just true. So imagine that mom who's struggling to get up in the morning and the kids, and you know, she's playing a game. Like, I don't even know if my son remembers that we play a game. They'd find coins in the couch and we'd get pizza. Man, we gotta eat. You know, we get enough. Ooh, who finds the most money? And we counting these coins out, going to the coin star. Meanwhile, somebody's got a top 10 record. But listen, that's life. So we do these things. That's as opposed to, I'm going to struggle. I'm going to sit on the phone with my girlfriend. I'm going to TikTok messages about he's no good. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. No, get moving, sister. The babies have to eat. He's running his life. Your kids are sitting here. They have no idea what's going on. They just know they need to eat. They just know, what are we going to have? Happy Meals or Lunchables. They just know it's going to make sense. And it always does when you focus on what's important and not invite negative energy in by someone who has no idea how to give you the tools to make any of it make sense. You want to continue to have the dialogue that's negative. Nothing is progressive. Nothing's healing. Nothing's helping you. You're just regurgitating the negativity. Regurgitate. Meanwhile, your kids are sitting right here. Look at them. They're the closest thing to God you've got.
Yes.
Utilize the miracle that you have with your children that are there. Can it be stressful? Are they crying? Yes. Did you wish you went to work today? Yeah, I couldn't do my job. I couldn't do it. You're sitting there looking at God, and they will calm you every time. Mine did. I'm not in jail.
Come on now. There you go.
I'm not. I managed to stay out of rehab. So to come really, really close.
There you go.
But I had a focal point. Mine was my son's.
Yeah.
Is my son's. And they are my daily and continued blessing. Daily. They are given to us.
That's right.
They're given to us. And it's for a reason. Their faces, their giggles, their smiles, crying, the patience it takes to change a diaper, growing, functioning with them. They make you slow down and focus if you're looking at it the right way.
Right.
They keep me sane and drive you crazy, but they
Julie,
will bring you back to sanity.
Positivity Posse, let me tell y'all something. Wendy, before I even go into the closing, I can feel, see, we've been doing this long enough. I can feel your spirit. It's full with something. And please drop some windiness on us, please. I can't close out.
Everything you just said was like a run. Like, I mean, I was sitting here trying, it felt like music. And it is the cure for everything that's going on in the world. Everything you said, if you look at correspondence and patterns and the principles of who we are to each other, if you don't have a child that perhaps that might be someone else's child, or the kids you teach, or anything.
Yes.
So when you look at this in theory, Auntie, you were saying there is no separation. And you took those moments of pain and transmuted them with love. With really, you tapped into God, you know.
I had to.
Where can you cure something in the same condition that its problem came from? You know, you got to go higher. So it's really, I know I will be giving this, once it's on YouTube, to our newest parents to be very soon, any day now. Brother. And because that's what this is. This is medicine. I just thank you. I just had to say that.
Oh, I love you. Thank you, baby.
Wendy.
Your mama was one of my mama bears.
That again.
Yeah, my mom, now she is a
mama bear. Epitome of it.
Right. We love you, Wanda. We love and respect you, sis. Listen, y'all, Positivity Posse. I know many of you, when we started this, because I got the emails, I got the phone calls, Wendy did too. There was this question that was looming. How is the story of Julie McKnight and her journey and her sons? Any positivity that's going to ring through that? Well, here it is. Here it is. We have the positive message that through Julie's truths, through this mama bear's journey, this mama bear's life, this mama bear's back-to-back episodes of her life, which is now cultivated into this really, to this message in this manuscript of the book Mama Bear. The positivity of it all is what we've heard most of our lives. It takes a village. Most of our lives, who said that in that village, ladies and gentlemen, that it's made up of people who've never had to go through something.
That's right.
Who said that this village that we have now put ourselves in, or we're born in, or we're loved into, or we're welcomed into, that the mentors of this village had their experiences that now they can pass on to. Julie McKnight has now opened her voice, soul, and message of her inclusion of the Mama Bear Village Keepers. This is the message of Mama Bear, ladies and gentlemen. This is what it's all about. This is the positivity that this Mama Bear villager now is giving her heart, giving her soul. Yes, there'll be some stories that will shake, rattle, and roll, but it's a message that's here to help cultivate a village keeping of those to come. We hear it evident. We've seen it evident in her Papa Bear's son now, a BJ, who I can tell you, name one through it all, is Papa Bear Plus. These kids his children know they're loved.
That's right.
Know that it's here. And you heard in his own words, it's because I've seen my Mama Bear. It's because I know what it is to bring them close. And when we tell you that we are just as excited and anticipating the release of this book for our own cleansings, the emails that you've sent, the messages that you've just given while the episode is on, thank you, y'all. Thank you for continuing your positivity. Julie, please keep us posted on when the release is. We know it's 2023. We're going to just throw it everywhere we can throw it. Wendy in her own camp is that's just, an abundance of her own. We're ready to rock and roll. We're ready to do this. We're ready to support the positivity and the message of Mama Bear. That you're brave enough to give of your soul. Thank you, sis. Thank you for all of this.
Oh, thank y'all. Thank y'all for being here too.
That's right.
Hi, Pookie. Family.
Now, give us, I know, but I want you to introduce your baby girl. Who is this, BJ?
Who will say hi?
Hi.
She's like, oh God. Mama.
Hi.
Oh,
Miss Iyla Rose.
That's our Bam Bam.
This is the next. This is one of the next. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. Wendy, the incredible Wendy Vaughn, and I, every single time you allow us to come together with you, you feel our souls as well. Thank you.
Yes.
Please share, like you do all the other episodes. Share this episode to everybody. Get it, email it, text it, send it on your Facebook page. However you do, please do this and send this message, ladies and gentlemen. And like I always say, when you see that promo come up, come on back and get some of this positivity on you. Take a bath in it, take a shower in it, scuba dive in it, skinny dip in it if you want to. Just jump in that pool of positivity. And when you come out, sprinkle it on as many people as you can, because that's what it's all about. We love you, and we'll see you next time on the Victor Brooks Show right here on Facebook.
I love you, Niecy.
Love you too.